Hi, this is Saku of the Finnish melodic doom death metal band Red Moon Architect, and you are listening to The Bloodshed with the Vampire of Metal Messiah Radio International.
Saku, thank you very much for taking time out for this interview, and I want to welcome you to the Metal Bloodshed with the Vampire of Metal Messiah Radio International.
Thank you.
I'd like to start this interview by congratulate you with this upcoming album, Emptiness Weighs The Most, another great work following the 2017 return of the Black Butterfly.
Yeah, thank you. It's been quite a lot of time since I wrote this kind of material. We had that one release called Kuura between those two records, but it was kind of a different release in our discography.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a while, Saku, but Red Moon Architect is a melodic doom metal band originated from Finland's gloomiest town, Kouvola, and have released critically acclaimed albums that have been able to reach music fans all over the world beyond genre boundaries. What inspired you to have started this solo project? And yes, how did you come out with the band name?
I just found out that it was a kind of a cool name, and Red Moon has so much different kind of meanings in old mythology and in old people's like beliefs, the blood moon and everything, like how it represents all the kind of evil and badness. Maybe it's some kind of architect of that darkness around us.
How you inspired to start this solo project?
I was playing keyboards most of my years when I was younger. Then I felt like I could do something different. I was playing more melodic metal back then and wanted to try something else and also form a band where I could play drums in. And then I believe I heard one song from Swallow the Sun back then. I was sold at the moment, like, okay, this is something that really speaks to me musically.
Okay.
And a week after that, I was booking a studio, just trying out whatever comes in my mind. Then the sound has developed over years from that.
Saku, the first album, Concealed Silent, was released in 2012 by Inverse Record, intending to be as a solo project, like I just said, by you drummer, with two guest vocalists, talking about Franz Alto and Anni Viljanen.
Yeah.
Soon got its first lineup in the person of guitarist Matius Moilanen and Mikko Heikkilä, bassist Jukka Julianen, and the male vocalist Juuso Turki. I do remember killer tunes on this record like Funeral, Realm, among others. Saku, you started the Red Moon Architect as a solo project, like we just said. Did you already have planned to develop it to a full-size band during the recording of the Concealed Silence?
I didn't really have any plans back then. The part of the reason why it was kind of a solo project was that I can just do whatever I want to and make it happen easily and not find so many musicians. Then when the time came that I wanted to play live and get gigs and things, then of course I needed people around me, and from that formed the full band.
Talking about this full band, how did you gather the band members to complete this first lineup?
Anni was going to school with me. We were at the same class.
Okay.
I asked her from there to sing, and Matias, he is my brother, and Jukka, we go way back from other bands, so I knew him already and knew he could be a great bass player for this kind of band. And Franz Alto, who was singing on the first record, that guy I just knew from YouTube and knew that he's really good, and asked if he would be down for recording an album with me, and he was, so that was the kind of the first lineup. Franz wasn't ever in the live lineup. He didn't want to do any shows back then, and then I asked my old friend Juuso to join us as a new vocalist.
How was the debut album, I'm talking about Concealed Silent, being received by critics and fans?
I was surprised back then. It was so good. It's a debut album. There's so many things that would have been done better, in my own opinion, of course, and it's almost 10 years old, so I believe it's normal to feel like that. People liked it, and they said that it sounded different somehow from other music that was released back then. And maybe a part of the reason for that is that I had no idea what I was doing. I was learning to play guitar the same time I was recording the album. Just went by ear and didn't have that much knowledge about how to compose with guitar and what are the basic principles of doom metal. I didn't know anything about that. I had heard one song of Swallow the Sun and knew that, I want to do something like slow and gloomy and cool.
The same lineup was also in the studio when recording the second album, Fall, which was released 2015 by Playground Music Finland. Mikko Heikkilä left the band and Juho Raiha came to handle live duties as a guitarist before the band found their current guitar player, Taneli, Jämsä. Piri Hanski as Matias and Juuso also stepped aside. Soon after this, they started to work on the third full album, Return of the Black Butterflies. The album was released in 2017 by Inverse Record and has the lineup that also been to this date. Ville Rutanen had joined as the new vocalist. Was there some agreement? Yes, between you, Saku, and Gogo to share band members, or was just a coincidence that 4 of Red Moon Architect members was still part of Aeonian Sorrow?
Not really. We haven't ever talked about that with Gogo. Ville was in Red Moon Architect, I believe, before he joined Aeonian Sorrow. I don't remember if they asked me if I was okay with it, but if they did, I would have said that if they want to play in 2 different bands, that's fine by me. It doesn't affect us as a band in any way. And I also played drums on the first Aeonian Sorrow album, and after then I've done some studio work for them, but I don't play in that band anymore.
How did you decide to step aside and hand over the drums duty to Daniel Nagwe, Clouds and X-Eye of Solitude, ex-Shape of Despair member?
I was just a studio drummer, a session musician for the first album, but I didn't have any passion to go on the road with them and stuff. I like to help my friends with drums for Gogo, for example, when she needed one, but one band is enough for me right now.
The Red Moon Architect current members now are Ville Rutanen, harsh vocals, Anni Viljanen, female vocals, Saku Moilanen as drummer, your brother Matius, guitarist, Taneli, the guitarist, and Jukka, the bassman. Red Moon Architect third album, Return of the Black Butterfly, has a different structure in comparison with Fall. The track became longer and they seems to be more complicated. The album also debuts the new singer Ville Rutanen, ex-Casket, and so far before the new album Emptiness Weighs The Most is not officially released yet. Return of the Black Butterfly, the best album of Red Moon Architect today, and had set standards to the highest level ever. Its massive soundscape and a hauntingly beautiful composition. Saku, going back in time 3 years when this album was released, how was the reaction for the band's fans and other, and how did you felt about it? You know what, I decided to ask you this because when I listen to this album, I see that it's a big step compared to the other albums. I feel that you guys have grown up, much better musician, as you said. How do you felt about it? How the lyric, how the music was written compared to the previous albums?
It was done pretty much the same way. I wrote the songs, recorded some demos, and then we went to the studio. And I was really proud of that album at the moment. I still am. It was exactly what I was going for back then. I wanted to create a certain type of sound with certain type of songs, and it was what it was supposed to be. So that was achieved. It didn't get as good response as I would have hoped so, but doom metal it's a tough genre of music. It's sort of underground still. Well, the fans of the band liked it, and we as a band went a few steps forward, so it was better than our previous albums. So I should be happy in that way.
Saku, I have another question. The album title, does it has to do with the track Black Butterfly that was on the debut album, Concealed Asylum?
I tried to go back to the vision that I had with the first album that I back then didn't know how to really achieve. So I tried to kind of recreate that idea that I originally had of the album and then create the Return of Black Butterflies with that skill set and knowledge that I had that day. I don't know if this makes any sense, but I tried to go back a bit with my emotions and feelings and try to capture something that started this all back then.
As you just said, the band band released the album Kura in 2019, which differed a lot from the previous work with its sheer funeral themes, more underground, and it was flirting with the sound of black metal and went to the darkest place in the band's sound as ever, and most likely ever will be. Yeah. Long fans of the band was surprised when heard this album. What was this all about, Saku?
I was in a really bad place in my life at that moment, and I wanted to write this album as a therapy process for myself. And actually, it wasn't even supposed to be released under the name of Red Moon Architect. But when the other band members heard it, they liked it and said that it's so special and somehow powerful album that we definitely should just release it. And yeah, I got separated from my back then fiance and life went south, so to say, and I had rough time a year or two back then, and that was something I tried to, release to that music, those feelings and emotions.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Saku. Was Ville responsible doing the vocals on that album as well?
Actually, no. That haven't been said anywhere, but I also did the vocals on that album.
Okay.
We didn't release any press releases or anything about that album. That just came out, and that was it. Even though the vocals also were mine, we felt that it was kind of a part of this band, that record, even if it was mostly just me.
Do you believe that you will repeat an album with the same vibe as you did with Kura again?
I don't believe that, but I never say never. I truly hope so that we won't.
To continue this interview, October 23rd will see the release of Emptiness Weighs The Most via Noble Demon, the brand new upcoming full-length record by melodic doomsters Red Moon Architect. After some releases done with Finnish label Inverse Record, Playground Music Finland, and Grey Beton Records, what made you go over to this brand new label, the German Noble Demon?
We were in search of a new label at this time, and one of my friends, Tuomas Saukkonen from Wolfheart and Dawn of Solace and other projects, was releasing a new Dawn of Solace album through that label, and he said to me that it seems kind of cool and everything works smoothly, and talked only good things about that label. So we reached out to Patrick from Noble Demon, and he was willing to sign us to that label, and everything has been really great. It's been great to work with them, and I believe this release will go quite well.
Before closing that chapter, if I can say so, what was actually the reason that you have not released another album with the previous labels?
Inverse Records has worked well for us for now, but as we want to reach more international audience, we felt that Patrick could be a great guy to work with us for that. And we still do some things with Inverse Record. They help with some pre-sales and stuff, so we work together still. But yeah, we just wanted to try something new and get things forward.
new album will be released this coming October 23rd, Emptiness Weighs The Most. I will kindly ask you, Saku, if you could present for us, for the listener, the album tracking list, and please describe it.
Yeah, so the first track is called Hidden, and that's kind of an intro track for the album that sets the mood with more ambient and atmospheric synth kind of thing. Just sets the mood for the album that is coming. And the second track is called Chained. That is one of the singles we've already released, and it's definitely the most death metal driven and the fastest tracks from this album, the more aggressive side. Then the third track, Rise, that also was the first single of the album. The fourth, Dethrone the Darkness. This is one of my own personal favorites and quite classic melodic doom metal track. One Shines Brighter, track number 5. Also one of my favorites. Track number 6, Muse. Track number 7, Into the Light. Track number 8, Reform. That is actually composed by our guitarist Taneli Jämsä. It's one of the rare songs that isn't composed by me. And track number 9, My Beloved. That's kind of a piano ballad thing in our own style that wraps up the whole album.
Saku, I want to thank you very much for describing us the album tracking list. Just as done with Red Moon Architect previous releases, which was used, mixed by you, Saku Moilanen, at your Deep Noise studio in Finland. How was it this time gone with the songwriting and the recording? And did you get to work again with Tony Lindgren at Fascination Street Studio for the mastering part?
Yeah, it was done pretty much the same way as our previous albums. Workflow is always more or less the same. I compose the songs, record the demos, send those to the other guys, and then everyone learns their parts, come to the studio, and then we record the album. I mix that, and then this time we send it to Tony from Fascination Street Studios for mastering, and I'm quite happy about how it came out. It's again just as it was supposed to sound.
The band have released awesome videos among the years supporting each of the albums the band have released so far, like Betrayed, Wish for a Tear, Riddle, Rise, Tide, Return of the Black Butterfly, Torment, to mention some. Now again this year the band put out some killer videos for the new track, as you just mentioned, Saku, Rise and Chained. What can you tell us about this video, and will the band be releasing more videos before the albums comes out?
Yeah, we are supposed to release 1 or 2, maybe even 3 videos more of this album, and I still can't say when they are coming out. And the video Rise was directed by one of my friends, Vin Valentino of the band Delta Enigma. He's a really good video guy and I like to work with him a lot. And Chained video I did myself. It's one of the first videos I've done actually. And yeah, I don't know what I have to say about those videos. I think everyone should just go and watch those and see for themselves.
Do you see that these videos are made in a different ways compared to normal, seeing this COVID thing?
Yeah, we had some troubles when the COVID started, and we are living in different cities. So we had some restrictions about moving to different cities in Finland. So it wasn't easy to get us all to video shoots, and it was done in many different parts and separate days. Like all was filmed one by one. But it hasn't been too bad in Finland, so we have managed quite well with that. But I think we have tried to put more effort on the videos than before, and especially the Rise video, the first single.
Saku, one thing that Finland most be proud of is their summer metal festival. Let's hope for 2021 it will go on, because 2020, as you just said, is all screwed up. Talking about Tuska Open Air, which I experienced and saw great bands like Katatonia, Behemoth, Gojira, Swallow the Sun, Ghost, Testament, Anthrax, Primordial, Villertak, and to say some. But a year earlier, you guys played there. I'm talking about 2015. Red Moon Architect have shared at this festival with likes Opeth, Amorphis, Exodus, Bloodbath, Sabaton, In Flames, and many more. How was your experience at this great festival, Saku?
It was a great experience. We had a full audience and the mood was quite well, so to say. It was great. Well, all the gigs are important to me in their own way. Like a small, intimate gig in a club can be as intimate and memorable special experience as the big stage on Tuska Festival. But yeah, I would be lying if I would say that it wasn't cool to be there. It was great, and hopefully we will play there again when this pandemic thing goes away, hopefully someday.
February 21st, 2020, Finnish melodic death metalers Insomnium came to Turku, Finland on their Heart-like Grave tour, supported bands including melodic doom metal band Red Moon Architect. How was this show gone in Turku with Insomnium? And did you did more shows with them?
Yeah, we did 4 shows in Finland with them. Yeah, it was great. They are fun guys and easy to work with, and hopefully they feel the same about us, and they were all just great shows.
Finnish doomster Red Moon Architect are known to create unique sound of their own. Your sweeping yet crushing and highly atmospheric melodic doom soundscape consolidate with strong melodies, dark growls, and haunting female vocals crawling directly under your skin. Emptiness Weighs The Most, the band's highly anticipated 5th studio album, will see the light of day on October 23rd to the eyes of Noble Demon, taking the listener on intense and emotion right through atmospheric, raw, and melancholic doom soundscape. Saku, tell us what are the future plans of the band in promotion of the brand new album, and where will you be playing for this coming 2021?
This is a tough question to answer right now because of the COVID situation. It's so hard to plan any touring or anything else right now, and we haven't actually done anything about that. We have been keeping our eyes open, and our plan is to play more shows outside Finland in future, but time tells when it's possible and when we can travel again.
So far, there's no commitment to any shows by your booking agent?
Not at the moment. We have 2 shows, I believe, coming up in Finland, if there will not be cancelled, but there should be 2 shows.
Okay.
But nothing abroad right now. But I hope that will change in future.
Seeing this COVID thing with everything postponed, talking about the album release date on October 23rd, what will you guys be doing in celebration of this album release date?
We are at least releasing 1 new video. Personally, I hope that we drink some alcohol and go to sauna in Finland with the band. But it's quite unfortunate that we can't really arrange any shows right now. I hope that we could at least get some kind of a stream show or something for the fans.
That was my next question, if you guys are planning a streaming show like most of the band are doing nowadays.
We had one.
You had one?
Yeah, it was like a few months ago. We had one, and I was a bit skeptical, but it was a cool experience to play that, and maybe we could do that again if we get the opportunity to do so.
Saku, to conclude this interview, I want to thank you very, very much to have made this possible, and I want to hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your friends to support the band, to buy the band's previous album, and to make sure to listen to the promotional singles video, check them out, and buy the band's upcoming brand new masterpiece, Emptiness Weighs The Most, that will be released on October 23rd via the German's Noble Demon. But before we leave, Saku, I'm sure fans like to know what is there available talking about band merchandises.
Not much at the moment. We have some t-shirts that can be bought directly from us if you message us through Facebook. We are at the moment discussing about merch deals and web shops with some distributors, and we'll inform on those on our social media as well as soon as we get the negotiations finished regards to that matter.
Okay. One thing to conclude this interview, Saku, how about the format that this album will be released?
Right now it will be on CD and digital, and we are discussing about the possibility of the vinyl release, but I don't know more about it.
Seeing the release date is not so far away, do you believe before the album release date, you and Noble Demon will already has a decision on whether it will be available on vinyl or not?
If the vinyl comes, it will come after the release, because it takes some months to even press the vinyl, so there's no way it would make it to the release date. At least that's how I see the thing, but I hope that we can get a vinyl press of that sometime later.
Okay, so once again, Saku, the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio is all yours to thank whoever you want to thank.
I want to thank you for this awesome interview.
You're welcome.
And of course our new label for doing the great job with our release so far, and all the fans that have been listening through all this. And I hope that you all like our new album.
Saku, I want you to say hello to Ville for me, to Anni, to Matius, to Taneli, and to Jukka. And also, if you get to talk to Patrick from Noble Demon, say hello to him for me.
Yeah, thank you.
And I wish you all the best with this great new album. I'm sure it's going to be a great success once again after, experience the previous albums. I'm sure there's going to be another album that the metalheads will enjoy very much. This brand new upcoming album, Emptiness Weighs The Most. So, yes, I wish you all the best. All the best for you, for your band members, for your loved ones, and for what metal is about, for the festivals for this upcoming year. I hope you all the best, Saku, and I want to thank you very much for have worked so hard, so long, and gave us all these great albums.
Thank you.
Like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So